excited I get to spend time with you today. Today we're going to do a few things that are going to be pretty fun. In celebration of Earth Week, which means Earth Day is happening this week, we get to talk about all about different ways we can help the earth. And to help the earth, we need to understand parts of the earth. So today we get to talk about understanding plants and the special parts of plants, okay? So today I have a book all about making the world more beautiful just by planting plants. So I thought first we could start with a song about plants. And to sing the song, we need to know the different parts of a plant. So the first part is the roots. So the roots are what? Dig deep into the dirt, and they're like straws that suck up the water so the plant can grow, right? The next thing is the stem, and the stem is like an elevator that brings the water up and brings things back down, like all the nutrition and the sunlight that the leaves gather. The next thing is the leaves that are open to the sun and the air are the ones making food, like a kitchen. And so they're making food to send back down to the stem, which is the elevator, to feed the roots to grow deeper, and the roots send water back up the elevator out to the leaves so they can keep making food. The last part is beautiful flower, if it's a blooming plant, that makes the seeds. And the seeds are what are important so another plant can grow. When the seeds are all ready from the flower, they spread as far as the wind or other animals can take it, and then they are planted again and more plants grow. Pretty special, huh? So today I have a song. Will you help me sing? If you get the tune and the song, you can help me too, okay? So let's go like this for the roots. Are you ready? The roots of the plant go underground, underground, underground. The roots of the plant go underground all day long. The stems of the plant hold up the leaf, up the leaf, up the leaf. The stem of the plant hold up the leaf all day long. The leaves of the plant are making food, making food, making food. The leaves of the plant are making food all day long. The flowers of the plant are making seeds, making seeds, making seeds. The flowers of the plant are making seeds all day long. Wonderful. Thanks for singing with me. You can keep singing that at home, okay? I also have a really fun project I wanted to show you that you can print out and do all on your own. This is a chart of how a seed grows underground. Now the seed starts as one tiny circle, and I'm sure you've seen a seed before in an apple or an orange or a lemon. And sometimes if you plant a seed, it will grow. And what's special about this is it shows 5 different stages of a seed growing. The first stage is when the seed is underground, and guess what's happening? What's growing down? A root. That's right. You can color in the seed and the root. What happens next? The seed is growing up and bigger and beginning to reach to the top of the soil. The root is growing down, and guess what? The main root, called the taproot, is starting to grow root hairs. That's the smaller roots that come off of the main root that grows down. Guess what's happening? The seed is shedding its seed coat. Can you say that? Seed coat. The seed coat is not needed anymore because the beautiful green part of the seed is going to come out. Do you see what happened to the roots? They dug down deeper. They grew a little longer. And they're going to grow bigger and bigger. Do you see what's peeking out? The seed has exited the soil. And now 2 tiny leaves are coming out. Do you see them? And the roots are growing, growing, growing. Wow. Do you remember what the main root is called? The taproot. And the little roots coming off are the root hairs. Shall we see what happens last? The seed coat has come off. The leaves have come out. And they're reaching for what? Do they want sunlight? They do. They want to see the sun. The seed coat is going to fall off because it's not needed anymore. And look how deep and long the root has gone. All of these root hairs help secure it into the dirt so it does not wash away and it does not blow away. It can keep growing. So we have a plant life cycle. You can make yours too and color in the dirt, make some blue sky, maybe a sun for the plant to get some nutrients for their leaves to make food. And you could even label different parts of the plant life cycle for your own paper at home. Pretty cool, huh? Well, shall we start our book? So this book is one of my favorite books, and it's totally the perfect book to read around Earth Day because it's all about the world and making the world more beautiful. The book is titled Miss Rumphius, and the stories and pictures are by Barbara Cooney. This is Miss Rumphius. This is the beautiful hill she's walking on. I'll show you the back. Do you see where she's walking to? She'll follow the trail. That's a clue. We'll see that house again in the book. Miss Rumphius. The Lupin Lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea. In between the rocks around her house grow blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. The Lupin Lady is little and old, but she has not always been that way. I know. She is my great aunt, and she told me so. Once upon a time, she was a little girl named Alice, who lived in a city by the sea. From the front stoop, she could see the wharves and the bristling masts of the tall ships. Many years ago, her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing ship. So there's Alice, Miss Rumphius, before she grew up, living by the sea. Now he worked her, Alice's grandfather. So that's Alice and that's her grandfather. Now he worked in a shop at the bottom of the house making figureheads for the prows of ships and carving wood to put in front of stores. For Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures too of sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, Alice was able to help him put in the skies. See how she's putting in the blue and the clouds? That's fun. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to stories of faraway places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places. And when I grow old, I too will live by the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," said her grandfather, "but there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. "All right," said Alice, but she did not know what that could be. So in the meantime, Alice got up, washed her face, ate her porridge, And she went to school, came home, and did her homework. And pretty soon, she was all grown up. Then my great Aunt Alice set out to do the 3 things she had told her grandfather she would do. She left home to live in another city far away from the sea and the salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up, and helping people find the ones that she wanted. That sounds like a librarian, doesn't she? Yeah. Some of the books even told her about faraway places. People called her Miss Rumphius now. Sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. She stepped inside on a wintry day, and the warm, moist air wrapped itself around her, and the sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "It's almost like a tropical isle," she said, but not quite. A conservatory is a place where you can grow plants because they keep the temperature really warm and the air really humid, so plants love to grow. So Miss Rumphius went to a real tropical island where people kept cockatoos and monkeys as pets. She walked on long beaches picking up beautiful shells, and one day she met the Bapa Raja, the king of the fishing village. "You must be tired," he said. "Come into my house and rest." So Miss Rumphius went in and met the Bapa Raja's wife. The Bapa Raja himself fetched a green coconut and cut a slice off the top so that Miss Rumphius could drink the coconut water inside. Before she left, the Bapa Raja gave her a beautiful mother of pearl shell on which he had hand-painted a bird of paradise and the words, "You will always remain in my heart." It's there. So a beautiful shell that he painted a picture inside. "You will always remain in my heart too," said Miss Rumphius. My great aunt Miss Alice Rumphius climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. She went through jungles, across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she made friends she would never forget. Finally, she came to a land of lotus eaters, and there, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. "What a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumphius. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it's time to find my place by the sea." And it was, and she did. Do you remember that house? From the porch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up. She watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on the water, and she saw it set in glory in the evening. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds in the stony ground. Miss Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. "But there's still one thing I have to do," she said. Do you remember what it is? "I have to do something to make the world more beautiful." But what? The world is already pretty nice, she thought, looking out over the ocean. Think about what you would do to make the world more beautiful. The next spring, Miss Rumphius was not very well. Her back was bothering her again, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of the stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-colored. "Lupins," said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. "I have always loved lupins the best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer so that I could still have more flowers next year." But she was not able to. It turned to winter again. After a hard winter, spring came. Miss Rumphius was feeling much better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon, she started to go up and over the hill where she had not been in a very long time. "I don't believe my eyes," she cried when she got to the top, for there on the other side of the hill was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupins. "It was the wind," she said as she knelt in delight. "It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden here, and the birds must have helped." Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. She hurried home and got out her seed catalogs. She sent off for the very best seed house for 5 bushels of lupin seed. That's a lot of seeds that she's going to have delivered to her house. All that summer, Miss Rumphius had her pockets full of seeds. She wandered over fields and headlands, sowing the lupins. That means throwing them around to have the seeds plant and grow. She scattered seeds along highways and the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them around the schoolhouse and the back of churches. She tossed them into hollows and along stone walls. Her back did not hurt anymore, and now some people called her that crazy old lady. They didn't know what she was doing. They thought she was just throwing things around. But the next spring, there were lupins everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue, purple, and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highways, down the lanes. Bright patches lay around the schoolhouse, and down the hollows along the stone walls grew the beautiful flowers. Do you see them all? What a beautiful town, huh? Miss Rumphius had done the third and most difficult thing of all. Did she make things more beautiful? She did. My great Aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, is very old now. Her hair is very white, and every year there are more and more lupins. Now they call her the Lupin Lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see the old lady who planted the fields of lupins. When she invites us in, they come slowly. They think she is the oldest woman in the world. Often she tells us stories of faraway places. When I grow up, I tell her, I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea. That is all very well, little Alice, my aunt says, but there is a third thing you need to do. What is that? I ask. You must do something to make the world more beautiful. All right, I say. But I do not know yet what that may be. See them all picking the flowers? Those will be beautiful bouquets, won't they? Isn't that a special book? So I want you to think about what's one way you can make the world more beautiful, more healthy, more happy this week on Earth Day week. One way you can do it in your own house, that's easy, you can do it all the time, is by doing leaf washing. I know we've done it in the classroom, but you can do it at home too. Let me show you. I have a plant that definitely needs some leaf washing. Do you remember the things we need? A little bit of water, a cotton ball, and an eyedropper. I squeeze my eyedropper. Squeeze. Release when it's in the water. Squeeze. Release. And I drop it onto my wet cotton ball. I'm going to hold a leaf so gently and wipe side to side. Remember, leaves are the kitchen of the plant, so we do not want to hurt them. We only want to clean them so that they can keep making food. Did my plant need some cleaning? It did. Shall we do another one? Side to side, gently holding it, not to disturb or rip or pull. My plant is going to be so happy and shiny when I'm done. I did 2 leaves, but could I do more? Yeah, and you can do more at your house too. So think, what is one way you can make your world more beautiful? See you next time, friends.